Hello, I'm currently 16 days post-op from my full extended tummy tuck, and I wanted to share with you the things that I found useful and also the things that I packed in my hospital bag that I didn't find useful or just didn't end up using. Um, so I thought, give as much information as I can because I had 2 years to plan my tummy tuck. So I was able to do a lot of reading, a lot of research, and a lot of watching videos. So I'll get to it. Basically, for my bag anyway, I didn't go for a rucksack or just like an ordinary hold-all. I actually went for almost like I suppose almost like a hold-all, like a zip-up bag, but it had wheels on it and a handle, so it's easy for me to pull along. Because I actually stayed in a hotel near to the hospital the night before I had my operation, and that just made things easier. And also, it made it easier on the way coming home. I actually had my sister with me, and she had her own bag, bless her, because she'd come to stay up in London with me. So she had her own bag, and it was just easier for her to be able to pull it along on wheels. So that was my first top tip, is to use a bag with wheels. It just makes life easier for you and for anyone else that might be helping you. Um, I obviously packed some clothes and things like that. Another tip that I was given, I found really useful, was actually it was actually my nurse who told me that I would find it easier if I picked up night shirts that buttoned up at the front, and also just generally clothes for the first couple of days or even the first 2 weeks that buttoned up at the front, because it's easier, especially if you've got a binder on, to be able to just undo it and then you've got clothes off. Because I know as well, for some people they struggle to lift their arms back up after they've had the abdominoplasty and they've had the muscle tightening done. Personally, I didn't struggle with that, but it was a hell of a lot easier, especially my sister helped me to get changed when I was actually leaving the hospital. So I had a nice long dress that I bought from Oasis, and it had buttons at the front, and it has made life easier. I'll admit that. All my night shirts that I've got with me at the moment all button up at the front, and I was able to get them quite easily from Peacocks and Primark. They didn't cost a lot of money, so it was no big deal that I'm only going to wear them for a couple of weeks, and then I probably, to be fair, won't really wear them again because I'm not a night shirty kind of girl, but it has made things easier. Um, so yeah, that's kind of what to wear. I also packed with me some arnica. I'll just get it here. I actually started taking this, I'll show you, 3 weeks before I had my operation. It's a herbal kind of supplement tablet that you can get from Holland and Barrett. I was advised to start taking this 3 weeks before and to continue to take it afterwards, and it basically helps with the bruising and the healing. So I had that in my hospital bag. They're really easy. They're not even like big tablets. They're the tiniest little pellets. They're like little dots, really. You take two about 3 times a day, and I think they've kind of got a minty-ish sort of flavour to them. So they're not horrible or anything like that. It's just quite easy to, like, they kind of dissolve in your mouth. So that's quite a good thing to pack in your bag. The other thing that I'll just get straight to, this is like the biggest thing, and I wish I'd taken my own advice. I had read and watched a lot of blogs where a lot of people were talking about the first poop after you've had your tummy tuck. And the advice out there generally is to take something, to take, some sort of laxative to help you go. So a couple of weeks before I had my op, I went to see my nurse and she was able to advise me what to get. So I bought a big bottle of lactulose and took it with me in my hospital bag. Now, for some stupid reason, I'm actually a vegetarian. I have been all my life, and I've never had a problem. I'm just a very regular person in that kind of area. It's never been a problem for me. So as much as I took the lactulose with me and all the advice that I'd heard. You know, you'll probably see other people's blogs or, you know, read stories. Real Self is a good place to go to read stories about tummy tucks. A lot of people sort of say start taking it like the day that you come out from hospital. As much as I packed it with me, I'm one of those weird people that doesn't like to poop if I'm not like in my own toilet or in my own house. So I didn't, and I kind of assumed like because I'm vegetarian, everything's just kind of going to come out naturally, and I won't have any issues. I could not have been more wrong. So I had this lactulose with me, and I didn't really start taking it until I'd kind of got home after I'd been to the hospital. By which point I was on day sort of 3. And I've already had a chance to build up, I guess, whatever's in me. And by day 5, I think it was, I really needed to go. I needed to go so bad, but I couldn't go. It was awful. I've never, ever had constipation in my life, and I never want to have it ever again. It was awful. I just spent all day really uncomfortable, found it really difficult to sit, found it really difficult to lie down. Was not nice, really not nice. I'm not going to be too gory and explain how it felt for me. I've made my sisters laugh enough by telling them, but it was not pleasant. I was getting desperate. You were trying to eat various bits and pieces. I was like trying to eat all these prunes and apricots and stuff to try and get myself to go. But the problem was, I think it created a kind of very hard plug. And that basically happens because of all of the drugs and the anaesthetic that you have, and it dries everything up. It makes it very, very difficult to pass. So I wish I had actually just taken the advice. As much as I had the stuff sitting there, I didn't take it straight away. It was a big, big, big problem. And in the end, what kind of saved me, I'll get some of this. I had to call my aunt, who lives not that far away, and ask her to go and pick me up some Senna. And I ended up taking 2 tablets, and then about 7 hours later I felt like I was giving birth. It was horrible, and I was really nervous as well, because you don't really want to be pushing once you've had those muscles tightened. You'll find even the first cough and the first sneeze and even laughing can be quite uncomfortable. So having to push out a big load of poop, really not fun. So I would advise you get some Senna anyway. Keep it in a house, or if you want to take it in your hospital bag, but definitely lactulose or a laxative that your surgeon or your nurse or whoever recommends to you would be a big help. And please don't make the mistake that I made and not take it and assume you're going to be okay and like, oh, I'm a regular kind of person and whatever, because I kind of thought when I was in hospital, I was drinking lots of water, I was going, for a wee quite a lot, and I stupidly just assumed I was going to be okay, and I could not have been more wrong, because I had the most uncomfortable, it was like a whole 24 hours of being really uncomfortable, really not socialising with people because I just didn't want to be with them. It was not a nice situation. It was not pretty. Honestly, I would have done anything. I was so worried that I was going to have to go like to A&E or something because I couldn't poop. So yeah, just don't go there. The other thing was I got loads of these. This packet's quite thin now because I've used a lot of these, but I bought them in bulk. They're like Andrix kind of wet wipes. These ones smell quite fresh. Once you've had, I made the most of it. I'm not really a bath person, but the morning before I had my surgery, I had the longest bath, gave everything that I needed to, a good shave and everything. You're not going to be having a bath or a shower for probably about 2 weeks. And I'm the kind of person who normally showers twice a day at least, depending on if I've been to the gym or not. So it was massively uncomfortable for me, and I get really paranoid that I smell and things like that. So just having like some little wipelets, great for freshening up down below if you need to, or armpits and stuff. Really, really handy. Also things like having face wipes. You know, you're probably not going to be really wearing much makeup for the first couple of days, which you might even be grateful for. I know it kind of cleared up my skin as well, not having to have anything on it. But actually, even just having the face wipes made me feel fresh. Just being able to wipe all around my face, wipe around my neck, and, you know, like behind your ears and stuff. So, you know, things like that. Brilliant. And actually, I ended up buying these in bulk. I think they were on offer at Tesco's. And I think they were like a pack of 4 for £6. So I thought it was pretty good, and they have lasted me a while. Like I say, I'm on day 16, and I've got loads of packets. They're all kind of now looking quite thin like this, but I've got one that I keep in my handbag as well. There's one in each of the toilets here, and it's just easy just to, you know, like I say, keep it fresh. I've got one by my nightstand as well. Just in case I need to. Saying that as well, I also got actually went to Holland and Barrett again, and I found some gum that kind of helps to like remove bacteria as well, because I was kind of worried that when I was in hospital I wouldn't be able to get in and out of bed, and probably wouldn't want to stand too long at the sink to brush my teeth. And it's just, again, like I say, if people were coming to visit you in the hospital or whatever and they're giving you kisses and cuddles, I'm just one of those people who's quite paranoid about how my breath might smell. So I wanted to make sure that was minty fresh, and also it's just nice just to have in your handbag anyway. But you could have any gum, but I just preferred that one because, like I say, it's meant to remove bacteria. I did actually, genuinely, I can say that I felt quite clean. The other thing that I packed, this is going to seem probably really bizarre, is a little footstool. I nicked this from my children's bathroom before I left. Luckily, they can now sort of reach the sink and everything. It's just been sitting in there for a while, so I gave it a really good wash and everything. It's quite light, and I was able to pack this in my hospital bag, and because it's hollow, I could fit things like my slippers and stuff in here. The reason I took this was I watched someone else's blog, and they were talking about their journey home from the hospital and how they actually put this under their feet, helped to raise their feet up so that they were more comfortable in the car on the way home. Really good tip. Honestly, this little thing has been in and out of my sister's cars, and like I say, I actually got it out of my hospital bag for the taxi ride home just to make it a bit more comfortable. You know, I don't know for various people how you're going to be getting about or anything, but when I was in the car, you can feel every bump in the road. You're like busy holding yourself tight and everything, and you don't really want to put any more stretching on your incision. It just makes that a little bit more comfortable. I actually wish that at the time that I'd either taken a small towel or a cushion or something to just put in the way of the seatbelt as well, or just to help me feel a little bit more secure when I was on the journey home. But again, that's something I didn't do, but well worth thinking about. So, footstool. I also packed just various bits and pieces. I kind of had this weird thing in my head that I was going to be, I'd have lots of time in the hospital to do lots of reading and stuff. So I bought myself lots of motivational, like women's health magazines and gym magazines. I bought myself I've actually been recently watching the Kardashians. Never watched it, never followed it, but for some reason just needed some like mindless kind of TV that could kind of not have to concentrate on too much. But I personally really could relate to Khloe Kardashian, having had like various weight problems all my life, being one of 3 sisters. I know she's got the other 2, but those 3 main sisters where you're kind of the odd one out, or the other 2 look a little bit more similar and you don't. And yeah, I really, really related to her, and having watched her fitness journey has also been inspiring me. So I actually got her book, which I think is called Strong Looks Better Naked. So well planning to read that. I have to admit, like I said, I'm day 16, I haven't picked the book up. I'm probably more likely to a little bit later on, but actually when I'm in hospital, and you'll probably find this as well, you've had like a major operation and your body is trying to heal, and the best thing for it really is sleep. So I didn't really spend time reading magazines or books or anything like that. I did take my Kindle with me, and had access to videos or, like I say, TV kind of programs and stuff, because you'll have probably a TV in your hospital room, but you can't, it's very limited channels. I even found, for some reason, when I turned the TV on in my hospital room, it immediately came on really massively loud, and that's quite off-putting, especially if you're awake late in the evening and you don't want to wake up other patients in other rooms or anything. It's quite off-putting. So I didn't really watch the TV in the hospital room. It was quite nice to have my own Kindle, and I had some headphones, and I could listen to music or things like that. And that was more kind of what I did with my time, because, to be honest, I was like in and out of sleep and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm just trying to think if there was anything else. I personally was provided with slippers as well at the hospital, so even though I'd taken my own, they kind of gave me a pair. And actually, because I'm a bit of a germ phobe, I was like, I'm not going to get my nice clean slippers out of my bag, I'll just use their ones and then just leave them there. So I did that. I think that's pretty much it. It's very different to the last time I've ever had to pack a hospital bag was when I was going in to have my children, going in the hospital to have my children. But it's a different kind of thing. You're kind of preparing for different things, so you're really trying to make sure that you're healing and that you're making yourself as comfortable as possible. So I'd also probably say in that respect as well, granny panties are your friend. You might be thinking to yourself like, oh, once it's done, I'm going to be able to wear nice little like thongs and stuff like that. It's so uncomfortable. Like that, you want those great big, like, that come up here, so they're just missing all of your incision. You don't want any pressure on there. I'd packed loads of summer dresses, and I've mainly just been wearing them. Luckily, here in the UK, we have had like the most glorious summer so far, apart from the last 2 days. For some reason, it's just chucked it down with rain, because that's how it is here in Great Britain. We go from one extreme to the other, so it kind of went from like hotter than hell to like, I don't know, it was just really, really torrential rain and that kind of thing, and I totally wasn't prepared for that, because like I say, I've just had all these like summer dresses. So yeah, I've not really been out much the last 2 days. But yeah, I think, obviously planning for whatever time of year you decide to have your tummy tuck, dresses are kind of your friend. They just skim over everything. You haven't got any. I did try actually yesterday to try and get in a pair of my like gym bottoms, and like, yeah, they fit and they were fine and everything, but it's just that kind of pressure on your tummy. As it is, you'll be wearing a binder anyway, but you don't want anything else really like pushing on that scar at the moment. I think especially at this point, like I say, I'm only just past 2 weeks, and as much as I feel really good in myself, I feel that that's just a little bit too soon for me personally. So yeah, I won't keep going on and on, but I hope that I have shared some good tips with you. Likewise, if any of you guys have any tips, put them in the comments below, or make your own blog and share them, because I just personally feel like you can't, like, I don't know, it's just like helping other people. I really found it useful to look for information when I was planning my op, and as I've said in my other blog, I think the biggest challenge that I had was trying to find other people, other women in the UK who'd gone through the same thing and were able to give good advice as to even things like where to get things from, or just what to pack or stuff like that. And everything that I have packed has been not even from another person's just complete blog. It's been from reading lots and lots of different blogs and me going, oh yeah, that's a good idea, that's a good idea. Saying that, that's just reminded me that another thing I took actually with me was been bought a really cute little notepad that had a pen with it, and I packed that with me. I'm not really sure why. I don't know, it just kind of ended up in my hospital bag. But when I got to the hospital and they kind of bombard you with all the information of what time you need to take your various tablets or injections and things like that, it was just really handy to write it down, and also for me to go, oh, I've had this, and write that down. So yeah, I mean, likewise, nowadays we've got phones and things like that, so you can always put down your times and stuff on your phone, but I'm quite old fashioned like that. I don't really use my phone very much. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and take care, and bye.